James Katwere was the software developer for the land productivity analysis tool. So, the tool was meant to implement the model that the professor took you through on Monday. I think everyone can see my screen. It was developed as a Qgis plugin. And if you are aware or remember what the facilitator on Tuesday, Dr. Barasa, took you through, Qgis uses plugins as an extension to the native functionality inside Qgis. These are distributed via Qgis Plugin repository. Downloadable through the Qgis Plugin Manager. I'll do a small recap on the interface, how you can access the tool, how you can access the processing toolbox. Inside Qgis, and after an introduction on the interface, I'll show you how to download it, install it, and locate it inside the processing toolbox. And after that, we will use the data that is shared to you on the Google Drive. On the Google Drive, it's in the folder for Day 4, Introduction to the Prototype. And data inside the folder, it's for the whole IGAD region. Those are 10 countries. But all participants from your respective countries, the workshop was meant to facilitate you with each of your country's data sets so that you can practice as an exercise. But we'll follow on that up later. All those particular data sets will be uploaded each in its respective country folder. But in the meantime, I'm going to take you through how you go about executing the plugin. So hope everyone can see my screen. I have QGIS opened. I use...
Just slide, James.
Yes, please.
Please give us a slideshow. Go into slideshow.
Slideshow. So I'm not getting you. Slideshow. Yes, please. Yes. So hope everyone can see.
It's called presentation mode. Presentation mode.
Oh, no. Finish with the slides. Now I'm into QGIS. I'm going to go ahead with the demo link. Hope everyone can see the QGIS interface. Okay. So inside QGIS, on the main menu, we see options for plugins. Under plugins, there is manage and install plugins. So the Learn Productivity Analysis tool, sorry, this was an earlier. You can either search it by its name, Learn Productivity. Actually, the search tool filters through. You can search it by name. You can search it by the author or the provider, that is RCMRD. As you can see, mine is already installed, but on your side, since yours isn't installed, you click on the install button. The install button, mine shows uninstall because it's already installed. And after installation, you'll be shown a successfully installed bubble. Depending on your internet connection, this can take a minute or two. So in order to follow what I'm doing, I'm going to give you a minute so that yours too can, and I'm going to take it that everyone has it installed. Now I'm going to take you through how to locate the plugin, where it is installed, and how to execute it. After launching the Learn Productive Analysis tool, this is the tool. This is its user interface. The user interface, basically, it contains on your left, On your left contains the parameters. The parameters. The first parameter is the soil productivity index. It's the first input. The second user interface on the left is the net productivity input, where or just go back a bit. The first input is the soil productivity, where if you downloaded the data on the Google Drive, this is where we input the soil. The second input, the net primary productivity, is where we input the survey. Is where we the facilitator yesterday and today in today's recap was helping to pre-process. On the left, we have the parameters that we use as input to the tool. The first parameter is the soil productivity index. This is a data set for calculating soil productivity. The second parameter is the net primary productivity, where we use survey as the input. The last two inputs is where we prompted by the tool to output our soil productivity layer, and the last input is where the tool prompts us to put the file name, or where exactly on our machines we want to save the net primary productivity out layer. On the right is descriptive information. That is a summary, a condensed summary of the tool, what it requires as input, and the output. This it depends on you whether if after executing the tool you can still refer to the output, the computed output, to interpret as the next presenter are going to take you through. So now I'm going to take it that you downloaded the data in the default introduction to the tool. In the first prompt for the tool, I'm going to input. I'm going to input the soil layer. I saved mine on the desktop. It is under regional soils. I'm going to choose the shape file. And in the next prompt, I'm going to input the survey layer. It's the regional survey layer. And in the third prompt, I'm going to specify where to save the soil productivity index layer. So inside the regional folder I downloaded, I created a folder called outputs. Inside outputs, I'm going to specify the name, soil productivity. And in the last prompt, the fourth one, I'm going to specify where to save the net primary productivity layer. I'm going to call it net. I'm saving the net primary productivity layer. And after that, I'm going to click run. You wait up to until the tool displays 100%. Executing, still executing. When it displays finished, you can either close the tool or leave it open to use the output guide on how best to interpret the computed results. I'm going to close mine. So the tool outputs two layers. The first layer on top is the soil productivity, and the layer below that is the net primary productivity. So I can tick off the soil productivity layer so that I can reveal the rendered net productivity layer. Hope everyone followed. Sorry for the interruptions. Having network issues here. But this is how the tool, and this is the output of the tool. It was made to be intuitive. It's easy to use, requiring only 2 or 3 steps. And anyone with any question, please ask before the next presenter take you through the results. If your question is pertaining to results, you can please wait for the next presenter to take you through.
Thank you very much, James. There are questions.
Hello.
I wanted to know from him, just to highlight how, because he moves from a model he has due to having a plugin. He may not show the process, but how do you, what's the background work from converting a model that you can run an individual into a plugin? Then can someone, if someone is doing research and wants to do any modifications on this, what you have here, is it open or it's closed? Thank you.
Yes, good evening. It's I just wanted to inquire, like before us coming to the land productivity toolbar, the data that Mr. James shared recently. How do we get those different shape files? Like their processing, like it didn't take us through their individual processing of the other files that we attached in the toolbox. So I'm just inquiring how are they brought up? Thank you.
So Douglas, the professor is going to ask you to answer your question. Then Brian, how was the tool made? And is it open source? Is it accessible for someone doing research for modification using Python as the binding language to the C libraries, native libraries for QGIS? Yes, the whole project is open source. It's in QGIS, it's on GitHub, and you can as well also download the whole process. The whole source code. the whole source code folder from the what? From the QGIS repository. But so from GitHub you can fork and modify it to your liking as a researcher. As long as you give credit to RCM already, FISO, the data sets you're talking about, basically that's what yesterday's session was meant to help you with, on how to pre-process your country's data sets. And maybe after this you can try to talk to yesterday's presenter, John Paul. But that's what the exercise he left you with yesterday, and today's recap is supposed to prepare you do. So what is in the Dev4 folder is the regional data set for the 10 IGAD countries this project was meant to do. That's it. But pre-processing those data sets, that's what yesterday's session was meant to do. Or you can further contact info@geomacafrica.com to give you a pre-processed data set for either your country or any other region. Hope I've answered you, and the professor wanted to answer Douglas on the targeted crop type. I think the processor can come in to answer Douglas.
Yeah, thank you, James, for your response to the question. To Douglas, as you can actually see, the productivity is based on properties of the soil, and there is no crop-specific cutoff values attached to it. If we go into crop specific, then we'll go into suitability assessment. But generally, the value which is given, and that's why we compared it with the FAO productivity categorization scheme, is that it gives you the overall productivity of the soils. So if a soil is really highly productive, here I'm talking about soil productivity, so I'm not going into NPP. It actually means you can grow a variety of crop on it. Of course, every crop will have its own requirement. And that's where now the suitability comes in, or the fact that a moderate productive soil will need some specific element or properties to actually produce, to be very highly productive for particular crop. But overall, this model is giving you the overall productivity of soils in the region. I hope I've been clear, Brian.
Hello?
Yes, I think you are clear to me.
Thank you, Professor. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. My question on that regard is this, because when if James could zoom in, sorry about the noise. If James could zoom in like to Uganda,
Let him do mini.
We're going to see that most of the parts of Uganda, James, please. Most of the part of Uganda, if you look at productivity is green. Is green.
No. Soil productivity or NPP?
So I'm wondering.
No, Douglas, I think I've got your question. Don't confuse NPP with soil productivity. Only 10% of the soils of Uganda are highly productive. Only 10%. And these are soils around the Lake Victoria, a bit in Busoga, a bit in Buganda, and a bit towards Zombo. Those are the highly productive soils. They are only around 10%. The rest of the soils of Uganda are either moderate or of poor productivity, very low productivity. But however, the vegetation cover, now he has brought it down. Vegetation cover, which reflect the NPP compared to other parts of the region, is the highest around Uganda. Because this is very clear, the gradient of productivity is basically from the east toward the west. So if you put DRC up to Central, up to Cameroon, you'll actually see that it is becoming greener and greener. So don't confuse soil productivity and NPP, because those are two different issues. I hope Kamoga has got it.
Prof, can I come in there?
Oh, come in, please.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's the same confusion, and maybe to build on to this, I think we are confusing what soil productivity means, and then the NPP, or net primary productivity, means. And to make it maybe clear to all of us to understand, is there a relationship between NPP and soil productivity, or it's not there? Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. So that was what we dealt with in the first day, trying to explain the two concepts. Soil, when we talk about soil productivity, we are looking at the inherent property of the soil to produce biomass. Okay? But when we are talking about NPP, the standing biomass on this particular soil, you will agree with me that NPP will vary with land use. So if a land is given, is cultivated, and another one is a woodlot, of course, even if the soils are the same, the NPP is going to be higher on the woodlot compared to a cultivated land with maize, for example. Okay? However, if two soils have the same productivity and they are put under the same land use, we should expect that the production of biomass should be similar. Or, in other words, if you have soils, a soil with low productivity and a soil with high productivity, and we put them in the same land use, you expect that where there is high productivity, biomass is going to be more than where you have a low productivity. So people should not confuse soil productivity and NPP, because NPP reflects the standing biomass on it. Okay. However, if you have a good soil and then you find that the NPP is low, it means some that we said among the assumptions, it actually means something that's going on. Either people are using a wrong land use, or if it was a forest, it was degraded. So you also need this to also read the assumptions which were added on this of the model. So let me hope.
So Prof, now for Uganda, maybe to get to conclude. Now for Uganda,
Yes.
where we have the high NPP, what does it communicate about our soil? And then we have low productivity.
Yeah, they reflect a number of things. One, that the soils here are relatively better than the other soils in terms of nutrient content and other parameters. But also, though we detrended the effect of rainfall and climate plays a big role in having this standing biomass. So you don't expect that a semi-arid area will have the same productivity, even if you put trees on them, will have the same productivity as a humid
Recording stopped.
Okay, so
Recording in progress.
that's what you should have in mind. We may be having better soils, but we may also be having a better weather compared to other places. Yeah, I think I've answered those questions. Maybe we give a chance to Bernard to show the results of the model.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Majaliwa. I think we have some 15 minutes, and I'm sure Dr. Barasa is going to build on what the questions that are in the chat. He's been responding to most of the questions that have been raised about the results. So this moment, let me invite Dr. Barasa Bernard to make an explanation of the results from the model. Welcome, Dr. Barasa.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are.
Good afternoon.
It's good the questions are coming in. You know, when they come in, probably it also gives us some insights, maybe in the future works. But also, I'm happy to hear that some people are interested to take the model further. What is critical here is that this work was developed for 10 countries. For 10 countries. Can I share my screen? So I was saying the work was developed for 10 countries. So what James has displayed is probably within the scope of our assignment, that we needed to show results across this large landscape. And in terms of the regional assessment, what came out was that in terms of soil productivity, if you have been to Mauritius or if you have read about Mauritius and Rwanda, we found out that these two, the plant life was higher, especially in Mauritius, Rwanda, and South Sudan, especially in the northern part, it's northwestern. And then while in terms of low productive soils, we discovered that it was Djibouti, Eritrea, Kenya, and Sudan, the main Sudan. However, when it came to the land productivity, which is the net primary productivity, the countries that had the high vegetative biomass are Mauritius, Rwanda, and Uganda. So if you went to Mauritius and Rwanda, if you have been to Rwanda and you have also come to Uganda, you see that all the areas are covered with probably more rich standing biomass compared to if you have been to the large areas of, especially in the southern parts of South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Kenya. But the least one, if probably it remains the same with the Somalia, if you're looking at productivity in terms of land, Somalia, Sudan, Eritrea, and Djibouti continue to post lower statistics in terms of standing biomass. Now, at the regional level, if it stands at 34 or 35% as classified as high, 30 as moderate, and 34.7 as low. So why is this low? It's low because if you look at Sudan, you look at Ethiopia, South Sudan, is Somalia, in terms of mass area, these countries are a bit huge compared to the smaller countries that have good biomass, like Rwanda, Uganda, and Mauritius. So this is how it looks like in terms of land productivity. So overall, you see that the productivity is about 64. And at the outlook, we are seeing the productivity of Djibouti is very, very, very low. Sorry, not Sudan, but South Sudan, and some bit of Ethiopia. So these countries, especially South Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Eritrea, the standing biomass has a very high correlation with the amount of rainfall received compared to Rwanda, Mauritius. Now, in the execution, this is how the model is coming out. Why not a particular country? Our scope was at a regional scale, but we are saying you can take this model further by studying it, integrating these aspects at your country specific or district scale, that probably you can add the science to GIS and also to guide our decision makers from the natural resources sectors. But the corporates remain with the Regional Center for Mapping in Nairobi. So it's based on a plugin like James has described, and probably colleagues should have the data sets so that they can try it out. I don't know if they have the data sets already, but they can have the results so that they look at it further. So thank you. Your inputs are also welcome because, you know, it's a learning curve that we have to take every minute, that we have to learn something new or to improve. So, Chair, thank you. That is my input into the results that we got. So it's a process that took the whole of last year, and we stand also to listen to colleagues for their inputs. So thank you, Chair. Maybe if we can have some questions in terms of productivity and also this from both soil and the standing biomass. So thank you.
Dr. Barosa, there is a question in the chat. Are you open to collaboration? Please address that.
Collaboration. Are we open to collaboration? I think we are open. And like I said, we are not, it's a learning process and collaborations because we are within the region and the results are meant for our region and decision makers and for everybody, you and me. So we are open. And in case of any questions, you can reach out to us and then we see how we can help. But the products are available. And if you look at the result, if you look at the downloads, the number of people who have downloaded the tool worldwide, the number is enormous. But what is limiting them is that the reasons you're seeing one rating is that this model was designed specifically for our countries and specifically for the area of study. So if you're within the IGAD region, you should run this model efficiently well. But if probably you get other data sets, maybe we'll have to see how we can factor in other administrative units into the process.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. There's that one.
Brian, I think Prof answered your question. I saw well in your slides is learn productivity similar to NPP. Yes. How can we get the regional shaped file for the exercise? Dr. Vincent, the exercise will be provided in the sharing folder. The soil database shared cannot run. It shows it cannot create the soil depth output. Need help. Soil database. Which database? Is it the Excel file? Which method is more accurate?
Can be responded to or addressed.
Estimating land productivity, machine learning, or so when you do not consult or use field data sets, like I said, for us, we And that's how we zero down. So the SPI is a plugin which you can sort of point to can a document out of this project be shared. We shared the main report, so you can consent for the. Okay, this is soil productivity index, SPI. Okay, SPI, do we download it? Yes, you can download the soil productivity, our model, from the plugin. How can you explain that the entire country has the same? In terms of, I don't think the entire country has the same. I don't know if you have looked at the map towards the city. You'll find that the area is built up and has, by the way, Mauritius, the larger areas are forested. I don't know if you have been to Mauritius, but it's a heavily forested island. But unlike the coastal areas towards the city, that's when you see some bit of low biomass. Otherwise, I think I've addressed the questions, but we are open to discussions after this workshop. How do you access? Of course, you go into the plugin. The videos will be shared for you to follow and then see what to do. So back to you, Margaret, and the team and the members who have participated in this workshop. We are really humbled to have you and to keep you around. Up to this time. So we, as trainers, we are grateful and we thank you for your active participation. We are coming to the end of our presentations. What is coming on board is probably closure, but then as a research team, we are open to everybody here who has participated. Your inputs and suggestions for collaboration, partnership, they are welcome. Feel free. We are in East Africa. We are not running away. So we are available. Thank you. Back to you, Margaret.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Barasa, for opening up doors for collaboration, for more collaboration with participants. Dear participants, I'm requesting for a minute or two that we go through the process of filling in the evaluation forms. I'm going to request Elisha, my colleague, to take this through. That is a short one, a really short one. And then after that, we'll go to the concluding session. Over.
Hello, thank you, Madam Margaret. I'm going to take you through just how we are going to fill the evaluation form for the course which has been running over the week. So allow me share my screen briefly. So this is the GeoMIC website. So in order to carry out the evaluation, you're going to type that URL in the app here, geomicafrica.com. And then there is a tab here which has training. Then there is GMS and Africa program here. Then the land and analysis, it's right here. So this is all content for this very training which has been running. Gives you the background in case you didn't have an overview of what this was about, the objectives, the topics, and then the outcomes. So all this actually, based on what you've been learning over the 4 days, will guide you to fill the evaluation. So you scroll down to the page, and you find training evaluation right here. This is a link which has click here. It will take you to the evaluation form. And this form is going to be filled in an anonymous way. So we won't get your name, or there won't be any bias. So and it's very simple. There are about 5 questions. As you can see, it's just one page. So you give your, based on your experience, you do the rating. You basically everything is right on this one page. So thank you very much. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you very much, Elisha. Dear participants, I now want to take you to the concluding rights and protocols, and I'm calling upon you all to take interest in the training materials that have been posted and will still be shared. Please keep the links and use them, use the materials. At this moment, I invite the project coordinator to take you through the concluding rights and protocols of this training. Welcome, Mr. Moses Banduga.
Thank you very much, Chair, for giving me this opportunity to take us to the next session for concluding this training workshop. Allow me also join you and the rest of the colleagues to appreciate the rest of the team and the participants who have kept it up to date from Monday up to date. It has been a long week, and I want to believe that all the participants have enjoyed this training. Mine will be very simple. As we know, Makerere University and RCM already, together with the African Union Commission, are key stakeholders in the Genius and Africa project. So mine is just simple to I'll pass over to Makerere University, who will eventually take us to the next protocols to close this workshop. But before I do that, I want to express my sincere gratitude to RCM Makerere University and the African Union Commission and the GMS and Africa program for the funding and facilitation of this land productivity analysis project and also this training workshop. I'm glad on behalf of Geomic Consultants Africa that RCM already considered Geomic to undertake this very important assignment for the land productivity thematic area for our region. I want also to appreciate the entire team, the technical team, the management team, and all associate team of experts at Geomic for the back-end work that facilitated this project implementation activities. And now that this training is coming to an end today, I want to thank everybody. So in a special way to thank the team leader for this project, Dr. Baraza Banan, who steered the technical processes together with Professor Majaliwa and the rest of the technical team, Paul, James, for steering the technical processes that have seen this process come to where it is today. Then also thank Madam Margaret, for coordinating and managing this project right from the start. I hope that the participants from the 14 countries who registered for this training workshop have indeed benefited from this training, and they are ready to utilize the products, of this project to assess and estimate land productivity in their respective countries. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me take this opportunity to thank, in a special way all our participants who have joined this training. And we are open, as Dr. Baraza mentioned, to collaborate and look forward to further working together for the sustainable development of our region. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those very few remarks, allow me to pass over the mic to Makerere University, who will officially take us through the closing remarks of this training workshop. I thank you very much, and I hand over to the training coordinator at Makerere University, Professor Anthony Gidudu, to take us to the concluding remarks. Thank you. I wish you all the best in wherever you are.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Banduka Moses, and the whole team at GeoMic. It has been great, and most especially, we would like to appreciate our participants. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Asanteni, Giavonga, Tatenda. All of you have been great. At the beginning of this training, we mentioned that we are exploring new spaces, and with new spaces come new lessons, new challenges, new mistakes. But you've stuck with us, and we are really grateful. I can assure you that we have learned, and we shall continue improving so that we can do better what we're doing. And I would like to thank the support from Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development. My senior brother will be closing officially soon, Mr. Degelo. I am grateful to the support from the African Union. And as we have all mentioned, as we have been saying, the support has been generously funded by the European Union. And so we are harnessing, as we all know, this is an era of lavish amounts of geospatial data. And we thought this course would be one of the outlets through which we could demonstrate the potential of Earth observation in monitoring land productivity. And I would like to thank the facilitators, Professor Majaliwa. As he said, he was ready to field any questions in Swahili or French. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of those, but you can still engage him, and I'm sure he will be happy to interact with you. I would like to thank Mr. Barasa. I would like to thank the whole team at GeoMic. I would like to announce that we will be having another training next week on wetland susceptibility analysis, and of course we are still on the theme of geospatial techniques for wetland susceptibility monitoring. Those who are interested, we shall be sending you the communication. Feel free to attend, and we hope that we will be able to put together a quality product, and hopefully the lessons of this week will be reflected in next week's training. And yeah, so as I mentioned at the beginning, kindly fill in the assessment forms. We need your candid assessment. We know there have been mistakes. We know there have been errors. Where you think we deserve encouragement, feel free to also encourage us. Where you think we can improve, kindly guide us. I was very happy on the first day when we had so many mistakes. There was a lot of feedback. Do this, try that, improve on that. And we leave off each other. You know, they say that as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen the other. So we have to be there for each other. So thank you very much. Thank you for your collaboration. Thank you for those who attempted the assignment. And please, we're open for engagement. We're open for interaction. At this juncture, I would like to invite Mr. Degelo Sendava to give us some closing remarks. As you know, he's our project leader, if I may say so. So, Mr. Degelo Sendaba, I would like to hand over to you. Give your concluding remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Your Excellencies, distinguished participants of the training and the trainees, first of all, I would like to congratulate Makerere University and also GeoMike team. Really, I would like to appreciate, and we are from the RCMRD side, we are really grateful and thank you. I would like to thank the participants also for your very active participation. I've been checking and the participation was so active. So this is, for some of you, it is an eye-opener, and for others, refresher. And for some of you, it could be also something which will be very helpful in the future. GMS and Africa project, especially the RCMRD side, is willing to support all African institutions and also students, as well as interested groups dealing with Earth observation and geoinformation to benefit from this project. So we'll have also more trainings in the future, and the wetlands vulnerability assessment is upcoming by next week. Those who are not yet registered, please be registered and benefit out of that one. And we'll have also some more in the coming in September and October, especially on land degradation, open geographic database, and also wetlands monitoring systems. Otherwise, we appreciate again and again, and I would like to close officially. Now this training is officially closed. See you. Asante sana. Mungu obariki. Bye.